How do I find the intersection between passion and competence? And how do I allow myself the freedom to just explore where that intersection point could be? It could like really, really high passion and then not so competent, or vice versa. There might be something I'm super good at that I never thought I was passionate about. Maybe I should explore those too.
Mm.
So profound that you don't even know what to say.
My default was to make a joke, but I really wanted to absorb what you said and not just say, okay.
Welcome to the On the Path podcast, a conversation on navigating life. Join Chris Coker and Colin Creech as they have honest conversations with fellow travelers on the path. In each episode, they explore the physical, mental, and spiritual health aspects of the whole self, striving for personal accountability and a strong community. Gain insights, learn from our mistakes, and hear from guests who have mastered these areas. Step on the path, embracing every challenge and success along the way. See you on the path.
Hi, Colin.
Colin
Should I
Creech.
introduce
Oh,
myself?
hey,
It's been a
yes.
really long time.
Who are you? I like your hat.
Thank you.
I'm Chris
Bills.
Coker, and this is Colin Creech. For those of you
We're
who don't
excited to
know,
be starting this journey.
I'm Colin Creech.
Welcome to the show. I can't see you. You're frozen.
It's going so well. So I'm Colin Creech.
And I'm Chris Coker.
Oh man, this episode's off to such a great start. For those of you who missed us, we missed you too. For those of you just tuning in, I actually am Colin. We're going to say that one more time. This is Chris, and welcome to On the Path podcast. It's been a hot minute, Chris. I guess
It has.
I knew you weren't prepared for me to say that I've got the icebreaker again, so we'll just kick it off with.
I was most certainly
This
not
is actually
prepared.
one of the hardest ones to date. Very tricky. If you answer incorrectly, you might get canceled. And that is a public shaming I don't think you're prepared for. So,
Okay. All right.
Chris.
Let's hear it.
what's your favorite color?
My favorite color, green.
Yeah, I wore a shirt. It's green.
War for you.
Yeah. Well, that was easy. That was it. That's all I had. This episode's going so not awkward. We are doing so good. Chris, where have we been? What's been going
This
on
will be a
this
fun
year?
one to edit, so we can just a lot has been going on. I think it's been a hectic year on the home front. It's been a hectic year on the work front. I know you're in the same boat. I know everybody's in the same boat. It's interesting how we can have a plan at the beginning of the year and then see how much that plan shifts as the year goes on. Because we are, what day is today? As of this recording, it is September 12th, which means we are at the tail end of the third quarter of 2025, which is just wild that we're here already. But doing all right. How have you been?
Oh, as you said, you make a plan, but then the plan usually it needs some tweaking or adjusting. I feel like my plan was blown up this year, if we can say, because I think it was around April, our last episode, and then I was taking on a health journey, if we say. It was it was definitely self-imposed. And I went from what I think is a nice brisk walk on the path to just taking a knee, then just laying on the path, and just every one of our connects, because we do a pretty good job of connecting weekly, was just, oh, Chris, like I can't today. I'm so not good. And it was a journey. And you were so patient. I really appreciate it. But we were hoping and targeting for one episode a month this year, and I think we're averaging
One episode a year?
a month. I don't know. Is it that bad? Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It is.
I have to
It
say
is pretty
in
bad.
between.
But you know what? One of the things
Yeah.
I've been thinking
Go
about a
ahead.
ton about the one of the things I've been thinking about a ton, just as far, yes, well, that was originally the plan. And at first I was like, man, I feel really bad. And then I was like, well, no, we got to give ourselves some grace, right? Like we are here to be authentic and to talk about being on the path. And some of that is like, life gets hard. And at the end of the day, Colin, you are focusing on the thing that is putting, bread on your table, right? I am married and I have 4 kids, and we're a single income family. Brittany's a stay-at-home mom, and I'm eternally grateful for that. But like, I'm going to focus on the thing that's able to help. So it is what it is. But I think what's important, Colin, is that we're willing to say, you know what, it has been a long time, but we are available now. We're ready now, and we're here now. That is the gentleman putting in my patio for those of you that are
Do you send the
YouTube.
waiver?
So thank you for the cameo. Exactly. But
Chris
I think
is
that
getting
to me is
some yard work, a new patio installed. That's the most single income family. We're all feeling for you, Chris. So.
Well, what I was getting at is the that sense of like, I got to be able to provide for the family, and I'm going to do that in the best way that I know how. So, but the good thing is we're here now. We're here now. We are still on the path. We have been, because you hit the nail on the head, Colin. Even though we haven't recorded all of these conversations, we have been connecting because it's important to have those buddies in your corner. So I think it's totally above board how things have gone, and I think it's just we are the like chemistry experiment that is being on the path, and this is just life.
I have to say, I was at a work event a couple weeks ago and ran into Mr. Ryan McCool, and I was so grateful for the connection, and we got about 1 minute of the actual like couple hours we probably needed to catch up properly. But his first question is like, what's up with On the Path? Like, I love listening. Like, what's going on there? And just checking in and just being such a good friend. But it was one of those also motivating moments where I was like, we're about to record. We're getting back. Colin's picking himself up off the path to keep walking, with Chris. Because before this, Chris was fireman carrying Colin on the path. So it was just a great conversation. We're back, and I think what I think about throughout, this year, especially after the conversation with Bill, is purpose. We've been talking so much about it, but last year we did a great job of refining and talking about our whole self philosophy: physical, mental, spiritual, personal accountability, a strong community. But it always goes back to like, what's at the end of the path? Like, what is your target? What are you aiming for? What are you living for? Your purpose. And it's been an amazing conversation, but also one of those really intimidating ones at the same time, because it's so easy with the distractions in our life, social media, with work, with family responsibilities for you. It's so easy to just, oh yeah, I'll get to that. I'll think about that later. I'll have that conversation with myself later. But you have to make time to have that reflection, to think about it, to refine it. And it's not easy. I mean, how's that experience been for you to continue to think about it, to refine it for yourself?
Yeah, it's a good question. And honestly, it's a timely one. It's something I've been thinking about quite a bit lately. And you said something, Colin, that I want to call out, which is like, like when you're on the path, like, where are you heading? What's the direction? Like, and I think sometimes that's crystal clear. Like sometimes it's, we're going to do 1 episode a month, or, this is the year I'm going to get that promotion that I want to get, or, this is the year that I'm going to like really commit to a relationship and I want to start my own family, and these sorts of things. And whatever the case may be for the person, I think sometimes it's crystal clear. I think other times it's not. Like sometimes you're on the path and it's winding so much, you just can't see what's 200 yards away. But what's important is that you keep the faith to keep moving in that direction, that you keep moving forward. Just follow that path and see where it goes. Because the very cliche, like, enjoy the journey, not the destination. It's about the journey, not the destination. I think there is definitely some truth to that. And I'm dealing with that literally right now, where I'm like, on the work front, like I had this plan, I had these things that I thought were going to pan out a certain way. They still might. It's not to say that door has closed. They still might go exactly the way that they were. It's just going to look a little bit different, or they're going to shift a little bit and change, and that's okay too, because I'm confident that the direction I'm moving is the right direction. And I think that the reason I'm feeling confident is because of all the other stuff that we talk about. Like, I'm feeling good. I haven't forgotten about my health. I am paying attention to like moving my body, getting into the gym. You and I are talking all the time. Some of my other, close friends, I keep, my confidants in my corner so that I can like make sure that mentally I'm like doing the right stuff. Those two things keep that emotional piece in check. And I'm feeling okay with how it is. So yeah, something that is really dawning on me lately about, this concept being on the path is it's not always crystal clear where you're headed. Sometimes it's just simply about keeping the faith that you're heading in the right direction. And you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say like, yeah, I am moving in the right direction. But I think that's important too. And I think honestly, something that we can unpack in the coming months, Colin, is this is where that spiritual thread comes into play a little bit too. Like sometimes it's just about trusting it, whether it's trusting the universe or trusting faith in God or whatever the case is to the person, like that as long as you're doing good, good comes back.
Yeah, there's so much there. I'm glad you got to that because that is such an intimidating part of this because you talked about why and the purpose, and for some people it feels like it depends on that season of life, like what is that purpose, what am I working towards. And I do think there's so much to what Bill was talking about when he was saying, oh, if the why is big enough, it doesn't change. And I've done so much work myself with Dr. Britt in therapy where it's actually like, is it getting to that highest level in some places? And for some people it is with God being that highest purpose. That's an intimidating thought, right? Because you're also removing a lot of that control, which then goes back to the part you were saying where you got to keep working on that and thinking about that. But at the same time, you have to enjoy the journey because all we have is right now. We have the present. We are on a journey on the path, and it's easy to get overwhelmed with everything going on in life and thinking so big picture. But if you're not enjoying just even these little conversations you and I have, you're missing the beauty of life. And again, that's just those little moments, staying present and being, intentional in those little interactions, because you can't solve it all up, if you're multitasking in your mind. Who would ever do that? I would never multitask in my mind, but it's easy to get distracted.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. And it's easy to start, we're only human. So I think humans justify things, right? And so I think it's also just important to just like flow sometimes, like let things happen, right? Like you joked before, and I don't know, hopefully you don't feel like I'm picking on you, but before we started recording, you had said like, it's been a long time since we did this. I was off the path, but now I'm back on the path. Maybe you never left, right? Like you don't know what the next 100 yards on the path are.
On the path. I was getting an IV on the path. Yeah.
Getting an IV on the path.
Exactly. Casualty on the path.
Now you're feeling refreshed.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh yeah.
But I think that's a helpful way to view it too, is like, we don't really know what's around the next bend, and that's okay. And we have some thoughts. I think we're always going to say like, oh, this is why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. This is where I'm heading. Sometimes I think we're going to get that right, and other times I think that we're going to get that wrong, and we're only human. So I think I have to give myself the grace to say, hey, we're doing the best we can. We're focusing on the things that we can control, and then we are simply responding to the things that we can't, and we're going to respond in the best way we know how, or at least that's the goal and the hope. So all in, I would say 2025 has changed a lot from the plan, but I think we've been on the path in 2025.
I mean, obviously, we're going to say we've been on the path. We've got a brand we have to represent. But yeah, it's never. It's full of interesting twists and turns. That's probably the best way to put it. You can't always see like the top of the mountain. You're sometimes in the woods and working through, on the path, having hope. I'm on the right path. Speaking of hope, I hope to hear at this very moment. What's something you've learned this year about yourself that maybe has been maybe an aha moment, or one of those that you're like, oh, what's really important to me? I'd love to just reflect for a second too. Like in the period of time that we last spoke, I think it was around April, our last episode. Was there any moments, any little lessons learned that you were like, oh, okay, this is such a good reminder of why I do these things, why I practice self philosophy, why my family is at the center of everything I do. Love to just pick your brain and just hear, because I know you've had a lot of different things happen this year, a lot of changes.
Yeah, for sure. One of the learnings that comes to mind, I forget, I mean, I'm sure I read it in a book. I don't know which book, but the lesson was around you, like, in order to really excel at something, you need two key ingredients. There's a few other things, but there's really two key ingredients. One is passion, the desire to execute that task or that thing. And then the other one is competence, right? Like, you can absolutely love playing football, but if you don't know any plays and you don't know what offensive positions and defensive positions are, like, you're not competent. You're not going to ever be good unless you learn those things and you work on the competency of the sport to get them right. Like, passion only takes you so far is ultimately what I'm getting at. And I think this year was a good lesson in, you have to seek, or we should, and I'll focus on me. I need to seek out where's the nexus of those two things? Where are the things that I'm truly passionate about? And then also the things that I'm competent in. And I also think, Colin, that one is not more important than the other. I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, you follow your dreams and follow your passions. I also think that, sure, maybe, but the funny thing about competence is usually the better somebody is at something, the more they're like, that's my life's work. That's what I'm meant to do, right? Because people like to be good at things. I want to be good at things. So when I find myself like really good at a particular thing, I'm like, man, maybe this is what I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life doing. So for me, I think moving forward, I'm really, really reflecting on, what am I passionate about? But then also, like, where are my competencies? Like, what am I good at? Because I think both of those two things are a little bit of a dance. And the one that is like in mind for me right now, there's a little bit of validation here, but one of the ones that comes to mind, I was just telling you before the call, I said, hey, we had some change at work. Colleagues that don't know me all that well are like calling me, right? And they're, hey, like, what is going on? Like, how do you feel about this? Can you help me? And I'm just like a little bit of a magnet when it comes to people that just want a soundboard. And I'm definitely passionate about that. But what I've learned is, like, I'm pretty competent in that space too. Like, I'm pretty good at just kind of having that conversation, trying to understand where a person is coming from and then meeting them where they're at. And so that's just one example. I have others as well, but that's the one that comes to mind. So I think that for me is the biggest learning in 2025 is, how do I find the intersection between passion and competence? And how do I allow myself the freedom to just explore where that intersection point could be? It could, like, really, really high passion and then not so competent, or vice versa. There might be something I'm super good at that I never thought I was passionate about. Maybe I should explore those too. So profound that you don't even know what to say.
My default was to make a joke, but I really wanted to absorb what you said and not just say what came to mind first, which was, it's too bad, you can't be a professional, lift heavy weights, because you would be so well paid. You'd be a very, high wealth individual if lifting heavy things was, where your passion could get paid. But that's not nice, and I wouldn't say that. No, I love the answer. And
I think that's a pretty good example, though, because, like, I've spent a lot of years, like, trying to figure it out, but I'm also never going to be at, like, any sort of elite level, because I'm not, like, I'm passionate about fitness, but it's not like what I want to spend all of my time doing, right? Like, I don't try to ever teach other people about it. So for me, I just use it as, like, how do I use fitness to try to make sure that I can show up strong in a conversation. Like, and that's genuinely true. So like that to me is a little bit of a, like just a shift in perspective too. But I think it's a great example. Like I work very hard and I'm pretty competent at, lifting weights and things like that. But the passion isn't necessarily there in the sense of like how I want to spend my working hours.
Yeah. 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 It's and there's so much there because it's like follow your passions, follow your dreams. It's tricky, in 2025, it's not that simple sometimes for those to find a perfect mesh, if you will, and have a, make a living wage, if we can say. But where can you find those little glimpses or those little parts where it comes to life? You said it perfectly, those little conversations at work where you are really able to lean into also a space that you really love. You love having those conversations, helping people work through some of these complexities that we all have in our daily lives. And I love that. That's a good share, sir. That's a very good share.
And
very
thank
genuine.
you. I'll give you one more example that isn't me because I don't know why this is on my mind, but I'm thinking about people that lay concrete right now. It could be the gentleman walking over my shoulder every couple of minutes, but
working hard.
What was interesting is so it's a family-owned company. They did a phenomenal job. It's he and his brother, and then they have a crew of guys that help him out, of course. I have never met two grown men more passionate about concrete than these two dudes. Like, they were raving. Like, they took me after they poured it all, they came out and they were like, aren't you just blown away at how fast this was? And look at how cool this, they were telling me all about the acid bath and how to expose the aggregate. And then they were telling me about kind of the finisher seal that they're going to put on it, which is what he's doing today. He's like, yeah, you're going to come back here and the way the sun bounces off, you're going to see all these little sparkles and blah, blah. And they're gruff, concrete guys, right? And he's sitting here talking to me about sparkles. And it is just somebody that is immensely passionate about concrete. And it begs the question, where did that passion come from? He sure as hell wasn't walking around as a 15, 16-year-old going, my life's mission is going to be pouring concrete. Yeah, but you know what? They are extremely competent. They are across all of the projects we've done. Brittany and I have done a lot to the house we're in now. Of all of the different teams we've worked with, they are the tippy top as far as their customer service, their communication, their efficiency, just across the board. They are the best we've ever worked with. And I think what I'm getting to is highly, highly, highly competent. And I think for them, the competence came first and then the passion followed. And now they really genuinely do love concrete, but it took significant expertise in order for them to get there. So anyway, again, I'm sure I'm thinking of him because he's walking over my shoulder as he's sealing the patio today. But that to me is a great example of somebody that had competence hit first. And then they just wanted to proudly share this incredible thing that they're a master at their craft and they want to share that.
Yeah, and probably came from experience, maybe working for somebody else and thinking I think I can do this part better. Or I think I can do a higher quality with this, and that having that experience, the competency, and then combined with passion and just refining a craft. I can't wait for you to see the sparkles. Yeah. I think we're all going to want to know what that looks like when the sun bounces off of it. But again.
Same. It caught me off guard.
That's a beautiful
6'2" rough career. Concrete dude. He was like, just you wait till you see the sparkles.
yeah. Which must look like a giant when you're looking up at him. But he's getting his cameo right now. I really enjoyed this conversation, Chris. I really like your new hat. We both accidentally have our new little snapbacks on today. Chris is wearing his frontwards, and I'm wearing mine the backwards. I think those are real words. But
go Bills.
But thanks everyone for staying on the path with us too, and shout out again to also Ryan McCool and a few others that have that continue to keep that spark lit, but ask that just hey, when's the next one coming out? How's it going? And they're also part of that strong community, checking in. He was for sure checking in, and we're all on this. We're all in this together. Yeah. It takes a strong community with the other elements to just enjoy every moment of this life, but also stay on the path. So, with that,
dang Skippy,
Mr. Coker, I will see you on the path.
See you on the path.